something like that.
Recording in progress. So another logistics is on the team. We have a few space holders and deckhands. So Manuela and Celine and Nicole and I are holding space for the training for this intro, and Mara is here as deckhands, and we have another deckhand, which is Livy, and she's not here at the moment because it's 4 a.m. in New Zealand. And we have also advisors and other people that support us on the team, and the global possibility management game world that is also empowering us in this space. Yeah, that's it about logistics. Any other logistics from anyone?
Great. Make sure also that you have everything you need: pen, paper, glass of water, cloth if you need it as well. Now is the time before we start if you need to quickly still grab anything.
Okay, and actually for the first practice we're gonna do, it's called the centering process. You're gonna need some space so you can stand and move around. So make sure we can still see you, but you can stand and move around. And we're gonna start the process called is centering process. And it's a process to bring yes. I hear some noise sometimes. I'm just going to mute the echo because I hear echo. So, and yeah, by the way, you don't need your mic. You can leave your mic unmuted for this, so we can hear like a little sound and something like that. We're just gonna mute if there's background noise, but otherwise we want to hear you cough or I don't know, cry or laugh.
Make noise. Okay.
So
for this, I also just want to officially close the logistics space, and then Dor, take it away.
Thank you. So the centering process is for our 5 bodies to center. So our physical body, our energetic body, our emotional body, intellectual body, and archetypal body are all centered. So for this, it's the base position of an adult, if you want to use your feelings, if you want to hold space, the centering is really your base position. The same like a ballerina would have before she starts all the rest of the movement, before like a martial artist has, or a dancer of some sort. So we're gonna, the first is to center your physical body. And we brought some music to start connecting to your physical body. Sometimes I get to spaces my physical body haven't landed yet. So it just the music to start moving around, connecting to your physical body.
In the water and saw your reflection, the embers. They drew out a map and they showed you direction. Your sender is far in the east. Waters at peace when you enter. Love is just a reminder.
Just connect to your physical body.
Yawn.
My love is just a reminder.
Let any noises out if you feel like it.
My love is just a reminder. Find your center.
And start locating your physical center, which is 3 fingers underneath your belly button. Between those 2 points. In the middle, there's your physical center. And it balances you exactly in the middle of your body. You can try find it with movement.
To the mountains, cows in the street, prayer be to accountant. There was the river, eternal giver, flowing forever. Remember, find your center. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder.
see if you can locate your energetic
Just a
center.
reminder, find your center.
Your energetic center is the part of you that's in charge of timing and movement.
You need to talk more loudly, Dor, or turn the music down.
Yes, so try to locate your energetic center. Your energetic center is your body that's in charge of timing and space and rhythm. And you can even close your eyes and see if your energetic center goes to something in that. Some conversation that is stuck in your head or something from the past. You can use your intention to grab your energetic center and bring it in front of you. Grab it and bring it in front of you. It's an energetic ball of light. And scan with your awareness and find your energetic center from the present. Maybe there's something that's distracting you, the sounds, the music. And grab your energetic center from the present moment and bring it in front of your face. Your attention.
Hey, turn the
Your
music down.
information.
I can't hear you.
And use your awareness one more time to scan into the future and see if any of your attention or information or energy going into the future. And use your intention to grab those pieces of energy of you from all these places and bring them in front of your face to this energetic ball. It's your energetic center. It's the size of an orange. And use your intention one more time to grab that energy, that energetic center, and bring it down, all the way down, and put it on your physical center. So when your energetic center is on your physical center, you have the sensation of feeling centered. It's really your decision energetically to be centered. And now I'm going to use our clicker, which is our energetic declaration we use to snap our fingers to create it. So you can practice one time, snap your fingers, and you create a grounding cord that goes from your physical center to the center of the earth, center of Gaia. This grounding cord is about 2 to 3 centimeters in diameter. It has a certain color and a certain texture, and it keeps you grounded. So you use your clicker to create it, if you haven't yet. And on the count of 3, if you already see the color of your grounding cord, declare it into the space. 1, 2, 3. Mine is
Green.
Thank you. And use your clicker one more time to declare a bubble around you. This is an energetic bubble. It keeps only your energy, information, and emotion inside. And it's full and strong. Yeah. Thank you. Now you have the sensation of being centered, grounded, and bubbled. And you can keep that for the rest of the space and the rest of your life, really. And I'm going to also create, and you can click and create it this with me, a golden cube of an energetic workspace for us to be all in here, all over the world. So it contains the work that we're doing today energetically. And I invite you to declare your bright principles if you have them already. Declare them into the space. Mine are love,
justice, empowerment, love,
Integrity.
connection,
high level fun,
integrity,
Authenticity.
transformation, love,
clarity,
Possibility.
connection, love,
Truth.
ability, venture,
empowerment,
teamwork,
Flexibility.
and please bring your head a bit closer to the screen, and then take a moment in silence and create a being-to-being connection for our team, a connection from your being to the other person being, and try to look at someone for 10 to 15 seconds, even if they're not looking at you. Slowly bring it to an end. This is our team for today. For this journey, it's about space holding. It's about being in the service of Gaia, of the planet, of humanity, of what the world needs. And it's also about, at the same time, you doing what you want to do and express yourself fully and source what you're here for in the world. Full out with your clarity and your bright principles and your feelings and your emotions. And so this space is for empowering that. And there's great space holders here already, and you can hold space for this space as well. There's no hierarchy, or there's no authority figures here. So it's a radical responsible space. So the consequence that we take have, the actions that we take have consequences. And it's here for you to play and find out.
Yeah, so if we say this is a space holder training, this is not only to hold space for other people, but also for yourself, for your own transformation. Because that belongs together. It's both. We're not teachers. We want to create a space where we can explore what space holding really means. Even if it may be messy, even if we don't know better. We don't know better. Isn't that great? That's what makes it great. We can explore with you. You can explore with us. And yeah, we will offer experiments to hold space for our own transformation and that of others, if you wish. Do you have anything else to add about this space, Selena, Nicole, before we move to the next part?
A distinction that comes to mind is that how a space is held determines what's possible in a space. And in this space, each of us is holding a part of it. And how we hold that determines what's possible in the space, as well as how each other holds it. So as we are a team, we empower each other. We can empower each other to hold the space more capacity and more skill, while we ourselves are learning to do that. And that sometimes is what I bring my mind back to remind me about how it goes from changing into a hierarchy into a circle, from changing from power over and power under structures into power with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Shall we move to the next space then, or do you have anything to add, Celine?
No, not for the moment. Go ahead.
Great. So one of the great necessities that I see about today's transformational scene is to be aware of our feelings, because that's a topic that is often completely neglected in all kinds of spiritual, let's say, workshops and seminars where I've been. And being more aware of our feelings and emotions can greatly facilitate our own transformation and also that of others. And before we start with that, with the first, let's say, sharing round, I'd like to ask who of you has not been to any kind of Rage Club or other PM space?
You mean possibility management spaces?
Yes. Is there anyone who has no experience with feelings work?
Can I get an explanation of what a possibility management is?
What is that? How would you explain that? Is there a necessity to explain it? I don't know.
My sense is that for the purpose of this question, it's simply that if you have been in one, you would know that you've been in a capital possibility, capital management space, because it would have been declared that in this space. And okay. So this is perfect. Sounds like your answer is not yet. This is maybe your first one. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that sounds like most of you will be familiar with the following exercise experiment, let's say, but still, it's always wonderful to explore new facets of the 4 feelings check-in. We will go into breakout rooms of 3 or 4 people, depending, and there we'll share 2 minutes each. And we will complete the 4 following sentences. I feel angry about because, I feel fear because, I feel sad because, and I feel joy because. So it's angry, sad, fear, and joy. Those are the 4 main feelings that we work with. Just take it as it is. We can explain why later, and simply experiment with what that does with the space and with you to be more aware of those, let's say, archetypal main feelings. Okay.
Take us there, Manuela.
Anything else about that, the following breakout sessions? So we will be 3 or 4 people in each space, and we take 2 minutes each. And so one group might be, or there will be one group with only 3 people, and they can take a little bit more time per person. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's meet in about 8 to 10 minutes. And Dor and I will simply join one room. Okay. Room 2 or 5.
Okay.
I will join room 2 and you can join room 5. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, Dor.
Hello.
Dor.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Thank you.
Yes. I want to start with joy. I feel joy because of the centering. First time I come into a PM space with music and movement. And there's a lot of joy inside of me because of that. It's wonderful. Thanks for bringing that to the space. Just something that I really miss from the PM context. Movement, body movement. So thanks for that. I feel a lot of joy. I feel also fear. I'm afraid because I don't know where this space is taking me. And I feel resistance in my body. And yeah, I'm not sure what this space is gonna reveal of me. There's always this fear when I come to PM spaces, which is, I still feel I'm the old map fear when it comes to PM spaces. And I'm afraid of one of the main reactions and emotional fear hops in is just freezing. So I'm afraid of this happening here. There's also anger here present to explore. Yeah.
Thank you.
New people. Yeah. Thanks, Dor. Thanks to you all.
Will you say something about your sadness?
Yeah, I can go ahead. I'll go ahead. I just stopped because it was up. Yeah, I feel sad as well. There's sadness here. That I'm sad about. Yeah, I feel there's a disconnection going on with myself for these past days. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Nicole. Yeah, thanks for listening to me.
Thank you, Patricia.
Does it have to be related to the space, or can it just be about anything and what is inside of me and aware and awake now?
Yeah, feel right now, here and now, each of the feelings and speak from them. Thank you.
So I'll go. I feel joy about the people that I have in my life. I have a very supportive, more than one supportive circle, and a supporting relationship, which is recharging. I feel fear of actually wanting something with all my heart and going for it. I feel sad for my father, who doesn't have a lot going on in his life, and it's projecting in all kinds of different ways. His boredom and his own frustration from getting old and whatever. And anger. is usually a feeling that I don't get very often. I guess I feel anger in front of helplessness. I don't feel any helplessness at this moment, but I guess there's always some sense of helplessness as just being a human in the world and not being able to control everything. So I guess there's always just a little bit of anger.
Nicole, you're muted. You need to wait a second after you unmute yourself until it's.
Danny, thank you, Dor, for letting me know the sound didn't come through as fast as it looked like it would.
Hey,
Yes,
are you done, Danny?
Huh?
Are you done? Are you finished?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Go. And how many minutes is it, Dor?
And Nicole, there is something when you start the sentence, it loses the first word or two. So
Every
maybe
time?
every time. Yeah. So start speaking and then.
Thank you for letting me know.
Now it's okay.
Here, yeah. Yeah, here and now I feel some fear because hearing that my tech isn't working so well and not being able to hear myself from your side, and joy to get feedback so that I can work with however it's going without knowing. Anger because I want to be in setups that work better than this one, and glad because I have this one, and it was amazing to find a space. Yeah, I feel joy because I want more spaces like this to exist, more trainings like this to exist, more space holders to be empowered to hold space for transformation. And joy to get to be here where this is what's happening. Yeah, and fear because I have the story about myself that I still sometimes go into this parental ego state of teacher, of authority, and some go small, trying not to do that. So this is one of my edges, and it's scary. And yeah, joy to have a team who are becoming ever more skilled at giving feedback and coaching so that I can hone how I'm doing things.
Thank you.
I feel some sadness, because I miss being in spaces with people with whom I share a language and experience of experimenting with distinctions in my in-person world, and enjoy that online worlds exist. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
I feel joy about this space happening in this immediate feedback way. I already sense there's something very potent in the air, and there's a lot of feedback is flying. It's almost like this archetypal feedback. And the way it's coming to me is with this fear about being in a space where everyone are women except of me. And it brings my fear to 60%, and some emotion, it triggers some emotional fear that I have and I'm working with lately. And it's somehow I didn't see this happening because there were more men that were supposed to join, and they didn't join up in the last minute. So I see how the kind of the universe or echo sends me this immediate feedback about where I am. And I feel glad about it. And I also feel scared. And I feel angry about men not being here in the space, more men. And I feel angry about people polluting the beaches. And every time I go to the beach, there's a million plastics in the sea. And when I swim or I surf, I see all this plastic floating around me, and I'm fucking angry about that. And I want to do something about that. And I feel sadness about lately seeing my box, my mind, seeing how many times I think I'm right or I think I know something. And then I look at myself, like someone tells me, give me feedback or something, and I look myself later and I'm like, I feel sad about how much I think I know, or I think I have the answers or something. I feel really sad about that because it's my irresponsible part destroys connection like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dor.
Thank you, Dor.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sending a message. Please come to an end and come back to the main rooms.
See you in the main room, everyone.
See you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, team.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I feel joy because being able to connect one-on-one from the feelings is something that instantly creates this being-to-being connection and this almost silence around. And also the opportunity to finally give ourselves and each other a space to be heard, to be seen. Just, how was your day? Oh yeah, it was good. I did this and this and this. But actually show up in a place where we're coming from somewhere a little bit deeper. And not just deeper, but specifically also our feeling and our emotional body. And I feel sad because I would love that we have enough time that I can hear all of you telling me where you are and sharing where you are. And let's see how we can arrange that for next time. Maybe we have time. I don't know. Let's see. I also feel fear because it's the first time that we're opening this space, and it came from a place for me, which is my anger at the state of the world, at the disconnection, at the numbness, at the way we don't even know how to really listen to each other. that we're so distracted all the time, and that it's not just theoretical anymore, but we're seeing the repercussions everywhere of climate change, of war, of injustice, and I feel angry because our feelings are really this superhuman inner resource that guides us, that drives us, that gives us intelligence and information on our next steps, on the choices that we make. And we're cut off from that. We're using mostly our intellect to think, which has been the development and our evolution over the years, and something else needs to be possible, something else needs to happen. And this space is for something else to happen, and for you to make something else happen for yourself as well. And so conscious feelings is really a root. It's also, Danny, you were asking about possibility management. Conscious feelings is one of the main roots of possibility management, of using our feelings as an inner resource to inform us. And whether that's for holding space for yourself or others, for this training, our drive is to really give you access to your feelings, and practice and experience how you can apply them to the spaces, and how you can just apply them for your life as well, because it's yours, it's for you, it's for your direction, it's for your clarity, it's for your slowing down, it's for your breathing. And so the way we work as well is really with this experience experiment basis. We'll give some theory and distinctions, but really a lot will happen in our being and interacting with each other, in the experiments we will do, and in the connections that we will be making, which if all goes right, we will be feeling a lot all together very intensely. So I feel excited about that. You know, we're not fucking robots. We're not robots.
Yeah.
We're sentient, passionate, creative beings. And so, yeah, our feelings is also really, once you get access to that, you feel you're also your own empowerment. And for example, now I'm using a certain level of anger to share and to deliver this. I'm using a certain amount of conscious anger that is holding the space, that is creating the space. If I were to talk with more fear, then it wouldn't really work as much. So that's just one example of being to how our conscious feelings can empower us for ourselves and also for our spaces. So yeah, Dor, Nicole, Manuela, or also Mara, do you have anything to add before we move on to our first experiment?
No, I feel fired up by your speech.
Yeah.
Okay, so Manuel, I propose we go to the okay. So
Go Dor.
I'm wondering, I'm looking at Mira, and I wonder how is she feeling? Mira, will you share something?
I'm just sad today because something happened which I shared in my group. So
You said because something happened today,
yeah,
that you shared in your group.
It's a personal thing. I'm not sure if it's fitting in now to share here. So that's why.
You're not sure if it's fitting to share it here. No. So anyone notice what did I do right now? Anyone caught that?
You reflected back.
What is for you reflecting? Reflected.
Like being someone's mirror, showing them what they said so that they can hear it from the outside.
Okay. And yes, and I call it or it's what the way we're going to use it is completing, not reflecting. Because I'm not of a mirror, I'm more of a completion loop, what I'm doing. And so what I did is I repeated what she said, but it wasn't just about being like a robot, like repeating. It was like about completing her, so she know I got the ball and I passed her the ball. So would you do this for me, Bia?
Yeah.
Okay. I am scared that I didn't get to play music as much this week.
You're scared that you didn't get to play music much this week?
Because I'm sad that I don't have a lot of time to play with my hobbies.
Okay. You feel sadness that you don't get to much time for your hobbies?
Yes, ging, gling. Every time she repeats it and it works, it gives me this like, someone just heard me, yay. And she didn't give me any advice. She didn't put herself in this, and then I can go. I feel okay. I can go to the next layer of communication and go deeper with her. So we use that a lot in spaces. If our client, for example, in the middle of a yoga, I don't know, like a yoga class, he says something like, "Oh, I feel pain and I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I'm gonna go." So you can use that as a tool. You can say, you feel pain, you feel that you cannot do this anymore and you want to go.
Oh.
And they will be like, yes, because this thing is too hard for me. So they will keep the communication. And we use it a lot. Yes, Manuela?
That will have the effect that you get the bottom of what they actually mean and what's behind that, what they share at the beginning. There might be something completely different behind it, and so that real connection becomes possible.
And what I learned with this completion, we call it completion loops. It's really an art, because even after you practice this, for me, when I practiced this for a while, people said, "Oh, you're doing it in a robotic way." So I needed to learn how to do it in the context outside the spaces with just people I meet. I needed to learn how to say it in a way that it doesn't feel robotic. So it's now in the space is a chance for you to practice that. So you're going to do an experiment about that in the breakout rooms, and there's going to be 3 people in each group, or 2 people.
It doesn't really work with 3 people. So
yeah,
I
2 people.
Yeah, I tried switching the people around, and it didn't really work with 3 people in one room, so that there would be one space holder in each. So what I propose is to have 4 rooms with 2 people each, and there will be one of the space holders in each group. And there will be one group with 3 people where's Patricia? Huh? Somehow
in and out. So Manuela, I would just make sure that it's with who we have now, and then if she joins, she will join.
Great. So it's actually five rooms with 2 people and 1 space holder in each group, and Dor and I will join room 4 and 5. Right. And did we say how much time each person has to share? Would you like
2
to
minutes.
define that? 2 minutes for each. Okay.
So person A shares and person B complete loops them, and then they switch.
After 2 minutes.
And
all right.
I want to invite you also just to be aware of yourself, of what's going on while you're listening and completing.
And there will be now one space with 3 people, and yeah, just make sure that the new people can practice. Okay, see you in about 5 or 6 minutes. And Dor and I join room 4 and 5. I join room 4, and you can join room 4, 5.
Okay.
Hi, Dor. You're on mute.
Hello, Liz.
How are you?
I'll give you 5 answers in a moment to start this experiment.
I hope your trip was good to Switzerland. Switzerland?
What do you mean by good?
You had enjoy full time.
That what? Sorry, I
in the
couldn't hear.
mountains. When you went to the mountains, that's the last time we talked. I hope you got to be with the mountains.
And you're changing the subject. I said, what do you mean by good?
That is good, that you got to be at peace in the mountains. That's by good. Is it you and I only?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to go first or me?
I can go.
Okay.
I feel fear being in the space because I have a story that I am not good enough to hold space.
You feel fear being in the space because you feel that you're not good enough for being in the space.
I feel fear. I feel fear because holding space for others feels like too much responsibility.
You feel fear because holding space for others feels like too much responsibility.
I feel sad that I doubt because I doubt myself and I doubt the experience that I've had in the past.
You feel sad that you don't trust yourself and the experience that you had in the past.
I feel sad because I'm not able to see in myself what other people see in me.
You feel sad because you feel that other people cannot see what you have in you.
No, I feel sad that I can't see what other people see in me.
You feel sad that you cannot see what other people see in you.
Yes. And I feel fear that if I do see that, then I'll have to do it.
You feel fear that if you see that, you will have to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you see my messages when I write them?
Just that one.
Do
I
you
didn't
see
read
my-
it. I just.
Okay. Okay, let's switch.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
I feel scared that I'm doing everything wrong.
Scared that you're doing everything wrong.
Yes, and I feel angry that like technology and logistical problems come up.
You feel angry that technology and logistical problems come up.
Yes, and I feel scared that I'm really thirsty and I'm drinking all the time. And I feel scared that it looks weird.
You feel scared that you're thirsty and drinking all the time and that it looks weird.
Yes. And I feel scared too somehow that people would think that I'm try to dominate in the space, or I'm trying to be an authority figure.
You feel fear and scared because you think people will see you as dominating the space or as an authority figure.
Yeah. You're doing great. I'm going to challenge you a bit. I'm going to do a longer one.
Okay.
And that might happen in emotional healing processes. So it happens like, I feel angry that their modern culture is going so crazy that they're throwing food while other people are hungry in the street, and the police doesn't do anything about drug dealers that making everyone drug addicts, and there's drug addicts in the streets of the city. And I feel sad every time I see them because they're basically screwed up because these drug dealers gave them this evil substance that they would feel addicted for the rest of their life for.
So you feel angry that there's people in the world that have a lot of food that throw it away while other people don't have any, and that there's people on the streets that are getting drugs from drug dealers, and it makes you sad to see them and to see them on those substances where not even the police are doing anything about it.
Yes, thank you. Great work. You nailed
What
it.
happens in an emotional healing process where someone gives you a lot of information and you can't capture it all? Have you noticed what's the most important?
I suspect that from your question, you already got the answer.
But if you miss something, is it detrimental? Or is it okay to just ask for clarity?
Yeah, I'm saying that you got the answer because you just did it. You kind of got to the essence of what I said, and you returned you were there in the feeling. You returned it, you got the feeling of it, and that's the important part.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're doing great.
Welcome back. Is there anything to share after this space of completion loops?
how did it feel for you? Did you feel a difference from hearing yourself back so often? What happened for you?
Yeah, I want to share something. I've completed communication many times, and my communication has been completed for many times, but this time I felt it was the first time I felt the integrity of the space, of not engaging in dialogue right away, but just listening. Like I really felt I was listened this time. Like I felt it, not only in my intellectual body. So yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. I got goosebumps with your share.
Thanks, Celine.
I would like to share as well that there is something that felt for me as a little bit robotic. I mean, I'm a person that takes interest and shows interest with also asking follow-up questions. And so I don't know, it's just what came up. This is how I feel. And yeah.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Dan.
What comes up for me is that I got a lot of feedback about me doing it in a robotic way. And part of it was because I was not really letting myself feel what the communication was about. And it doesn't mean to take the other person's feelings. It doesn't mean that if you're angry about something, I'm going to take your anger, your energy. No. It just means that I let the person see that with my energy that I'm there, and I repeat it back in this way, that I'm here with you. This is what this completion loop really means. It's like, hey, I'm here with you. I hear you. And it took me a while, and I'm still working on it, to do this completion loop in a non-robotic way. And so it's, yeah, that's what we're here for, to work on these things together. Really.
Yeah, I hear you, Danny. And sometimes it happens to me as well that I repeat something back, and actually while I'm doing it, there's a part of me that thinks, oh, seriously, I'm the one who should be listened to right now, and I want to be heard, and why am I doing this? And then, of course, the completion loop can't land with the other person because I'm not really there, right? But if this completion loop is given in a completely open state of mind, that I do not judge the other person and I don't get my own, let's say, judgments and stuff in the way, then it's a wonderful way, of a very, very simple way of emotional healing, because we all have not been heard when we were children. There's so many times as children when we were not heard in our emotions. And so our emotions got stuck in our bodies and get triggered every time that we experience something similar, until finally they're healed. And one way of doing that is by being heard, by being truly heard. And giving completion loops is a very, very simple way to do that. It's a matter of practice, of doing that in an authentic way.
I completely agree. The thing was not about the completion loops. It was just about, I guess, the length of how long do I do this? Or feelings do I only also just show?
I didn't really catch that about the length. What did you mean by that?
I agree that the completion loops do give a feeling of being heard, that my emotions have space, that they have validation, especially if they're repeating them with no judgment and with openness and loving eyes. I guess if someone is sharing with me multiple feelings, multiple thoughts, for every feeling and every thought to complete the loop, I feel that's the robotic part, when it's consistent and not changing and fluently. But also that's just how I felt. And I guess if I'm doing something that isn't aligned with what I'm feeling, then it kind of loses the touch.
I mean, you don't have to do it after every sentence. I mean, maybe I can share one experience. I remember a man who was very inexperienced in any kind of, let's say, transformational work. He was angry at me, and he was really screaming at me and, I don't know, hollering and threatening me. And I gave him completion loops. And after 6 of those, he had calmed down and thanked me for having given him the first time in his life of having been truly heard. It can work with angry people, with children, with all kinds of things. And sometimes it does not work, and that's also okay.
And this is so the power of experimental spaces. What I heard you say, Dani, is that in this experimental space, you discovered that there's something about timing, there's something about when, after which pieces of information coming my way, when do I give completion loops, when would it not work? What are the qualities that make for a robotic completion loop, and that when it's robotic, it doesn't seem to work? And then you ask this question, you said, like, how long do I wait? Which things do I give? Amazing questions for all kinds of research about how to use completion loops in a way that really works to create more space so that the space becomes transformational. So thank you. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about what works, what doesn't work. What did you do by experiment?
Thank you, Nicole.
I'd like to share. What I discovered about myself was a fear I have of being misheard. Maybe that's the way. I kept my shares really short to make sure that nothing was missed. And I was with Dor, and when he shared something longer is when it made me realize that I kept it short to make it easier on the other person, because I don't want, I don't know yet quite what it is it a fear of taking up too much space, a fear of thinking I'm not being listened to, but there's something really there. And I think even which was, what's important to be reflected back if someone shares something quite long. And I think my own shortness is in there, why I keep it short, because I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want to be misheard, and I don't want to feel like someone's not listening to me. It reinforces the uncertainty I have about myself. So that was a learning today.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this. It's also interesting to reflect how then you're given a space to listen to that is for you and for you to express, that you're still thinking about what the other person needs or how the other person's going to hear you, and it takes you out of that. So that's such an awareness and a doorway for you to look into that more, and maybe an EHP as well.
Thank you, 𝕨.
EHP is emotional healing process. Yeah. Anything else before we shift into the next part?
It's actually really unrelated, but like, are there going to be like bathroom breaks or just kind of like sneak out?
Don't know. You can take
I don't
1
know.
minute break.
I don't want to break. I don't want to break the circle of the space by just leaving.
So usually we
Bathroom
do
break.
actually mention that in the logistics that there are no specific bathroom breaks. So if you need to leave, you just leave and you come back. You're self-responsible for yourself. So
Okay.
you
I
do what
sneak
you
out.
Thank
I
you.
sneak out.
I probably missed that part. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, we didn't say it. So thank you for bringing it in the space, because usually we do mention it. Thank you,
Okay.
Danny.
Thank you.
Don't forget to mute yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
I also say one, Liz, thank you for sharing that about feeling like you need to have shorter sentences, because when I was paired with Mira, she was sharing and I actually said, oh, I was like, beep, let's do shorter sentences for the practice. And I'm realizing that that is something maybe from my own of like, I really want to make sure I hear this person. And if it's too much, then not too much, but if it's long, then I might not be able to say everything that they are saying. And so, yeah, I feel like I might have restricted you, and I apologize, Mira, for that. And see myself in
Yeah, I feel a bit of fear about the time. I still have some wonderful role-playing experiments for you. So there's
You
nothing
feel fear
else.
about the time.
Thank you. And also I feel fear because I really don't know how to shift it to the next part about the next map.
Yeah, just I think you're doing it already. So just go.
Oh,
Yay. You've probably noticed this is not school, right? But is there anybody of you who has not been to school? I'm interested in hearing that. Nobody. Nope. We've all been to school. Yay! So we've all learned that if we make a mistake and people misunderstand us and people say this is wrong, oh, this is bad. So I must be wrong. So I must be very and not say anything in school and hide under the table and whatever. That's what
or resent.
Yeah.
Resent like hate the teacher.
And fight and think you're always right.
So if somebody tells us most people how they react if they're told that that something didn't work, what they're doing, they react by fighting or by hiding, right? So that's the normal response, to go either in kind of a swamp mode, like a depression, or like I'm so bad and blacking out, right? Or to go into fight mode, which is basically pretty much the same, because it also cuts your ability to see what the feedback was actually about. Because in our world here, in the Spaceholder training and the whole possible feedback is actually gold. And I think in all of life, feedback is actually what we learn, what we need to develop and to evolve. Right? I mean, as long as we on a certain path along the forest, right? Let's imagine they're walking, and we get no feedback. Well, we just keep walking, right? But what if it doesn't work what we're doing? Then we need somebody to tell us, because most of the time we won't see ourselves as well as other people can. So that's why feedback is the real gold. If you really want to, let's say, learn very quickly. And that's what we do here. Rapid learning, quick learning by feedback. And that's what we will practice in the next space. Is there anything to add about this map?
Yes. I have a beep for you.
Thank you.
And the feedback is that I'm missing the part about the when do I get a beep and where do I get a go and what do I do when I get the
Please
beep?
add it, because now I'm kind of off track.
Okay, so I propose to do an example. Anyone wants to practice sharing about what they do or about their spaces? Bia, you're smiling, so it must be you.
Yeah, I was smiling because no one was saying anything. I can go.
Okay, great. So you have 2 minutes to share what is your spaces about? Okay, beep. The beep was that you went into your head by saying hum, and the coaching would be to bring your center down and share without knowing what to say. Shift, go.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know how to answer because I haven't
Go.
built the space yet.
Go.
My space is bringing people together professionally to build events, immersive spaces, experiential.
Go.
I trained in Reiki. I've done my
Beep.
level.
My feedback is that you're looking a bit down and like somewhere here, like your center is here and it's missing connection. So my coaching would be if you look more into the space and go at, like, look at me, shift, go, or at us.
Yeah. I've just completed my level 2 Reiki, and I really want to just hold a space with my Reiki clients.
Go.
That's to me. And yeah, the speed of the go is like stressing me out a little bit. I feel fear of the goes.
Go.
Yeah,
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for jumping and doing it. So if you notice, there was some beeps where I said I stopped her, something was not working for me. I gave her the feedback, what was not working for me. Then I gave her coaching, what to do differently, so I don't leave her in the air. So I gave her the coaching, and then I say shift, go, which means shift the thing that I gave you and keep going with that. And as she kept going and she did it, it worked. I kept saying go, so she knows that it's working. And a great moment where that she told me your goes are doing this. So what she could do for me is to tell me, beep, your goes are too fast. Say them, shift, coaching, say them slower, shift, go. But just for now, we're just going to practice one direction. And person A is going to share what are they doing, like what their spaces is about. And practice like you're talking to someone, because I could be Bia's client and you meet all these people all day in the street and you're talking to them about what they do. They ask you, hey, what are you up to? And you're like, I do that. So we practice now to do this in a way that connect, and we use the beep shift go to practice that. And you can use the beep shift go in any space that you work in, like with 10 people. So any questions about this practice?
How long does each have in terms of time?
Manuela?
We wrote down 5 minutes plus 1 minute focused feedback and possibilities. Would you like to shorten it a little bit? Maybe 4 minutes each plus 1 minute focused feedback and possibilities.
Okay.
So okay, so we have 3 breakout rooms. There will be 3 people in 1 breakout room. There will be Dor in room 3 with 2 others.
Manuela,
Yes.
I have a beep.
Yes.
Will you just do it and just send us into the room without telling us this because for me it's yeah, I just want to go to the space. And I beep myself right now because the way I shared with you didn't work for me. So I return to you again when I have more clarity about what I want.
I'm not.
Shift go to myself.
Great. Dor, please join room 3. Thank you.
Okay.
And I will join room 1.
Go.
Oops. Like that.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
I see. Hi, Dor.
I would like to go first.
Thank you.
Okay. Go.
My flavor of space holding and beat myself. Okay.
Go.
Yeah, my flavor of space holding is something that I'm really deeply discovering. As now, I would say that how I contribute as a space holder is that I hold the food space for events. So I have many years of training as a chef, but I am now transitioning or reinventing myself as a food space holder.
Just a second. Liz, you're not giving her anything. So she's like talking and she don't know if she's doing it right, if it's working or not. She's kind of in the space.
Let's say go if it's working. That's the deal.
Shift, go. Yeah. Shift go.
Go.
Go. Okay.
Go.
Also, what I'm discovering with this food space holding is that my clients come to me to really for nourishment and to really hold the container of nourishment while they are there for their event, whether that be a plant medicine retreat, a yoga teacher training, a wedding. I am there.
Beep. My beep is about the way you're sharing this is a bit ordinary. It takes me into a space where people shared what they're doing with me many times before. And what people don't often do is say who they are. So maybe try to say, who are you? That is different, and start from there. Shift go.
I am someone who deeply cares about creating next culture. I am someone who deeply cares.
Beep, you said you're someone. And I don't believe you're someone. I believe that you're this warrior, magician woman who invents crazy experience in the form of food, but in the form of spaces that you create. And that may just my story. So what's your story about yourself? Shift go.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a witch for sure, 100%. I am an alchemist. I am here to really transform the space holding spaces, to really dedicate my journey and my beingness and my life to creating more safe spaces for feeling, but also more spaces for nourishment, for deep level of nourishment.
Go.
I feel a lot of joy because this discovery is really presenting a lot of possibilities. I also fear a lot. I also feel fear, and this fear is very emotional. And this fear is based on a lot of rejection.
Beep. It helps to connect with you when you share about your feelings, but it's not necessarily the space to check in with someone. Because is this the space? Like, do I get to check in next and share what I feel? It's not clear. But this space, it's about you and what you're doing. What are you here for to bring? And you went there. It worked great, and you shifted into the feeling. So use your fear. If your fear is about something, maybe that's what you're here for to do. So stay in the space of what I'm here for to do, even if the fear comes and give you information about something. Shift, go.
I'm discovering a passion and a deep desire that I have for permaculture, and how can I use my experience as a chef to deepen my connection to permaculture, which is essentially deepening my connection, connection to Gaia, and deepening my connection to service and my purpose. And hey, I'm here, how can I help? And my flavor is really based in nourishment. And permaculture, and how maximizing all of the resources and eliminating waste while providing deep nourishment.
Great. Thank you. Bring it to an end.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great work. Liz, do you have any feedback for her? You have only 1 minute to give her feedback.
I appreciated witnessing this happening.
It's not about you. It's about her, to give her gold, thing that worked for you, didn't work for you. So she can do it next time better.
Yeah, the connecting with yourself and telling your own story was more connecting. Moving to what you were passionate about and how it was going to amplify what you were interested in the world was more connecting. It was more inspiring.
What didn't work for you?
The beginning of it that was more technical, more this is what I do and this is where I deliver it. Delivering it in a what I do as opposed to who I'm being way.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got that, Sabrina?
Yes.
I just want to add that there was a part when you started to share nonlinear. You can watch the recording. You started to just say things. Like, towards the end. I don't remember what you said, but it started to just say things, and it felt like nonlinear, and it felt suddenly exciting. It's like, here's a dish of delicious food, here's a dish. It was not like this. Really worked for me. Go.
Thank you.
All right. These. Go. What is your work about, Liz?
Holding space for radical connection between humans. Being together in connected ways.
Beep.
Yeah.
Sabrina, you know what's the beep?
I'm in my head.
She's not connecting, like looking at the camera. I feel like I feel not connected to you when you don't look
something
at
in
the
your
camera.
eyes looking down and to the sides.
Yeah. Okay.
So the coaching, Sabrina?
Yeah, please look at the camera.
Shift go. You didn't say shift go, Sabrina.
Shift go. Shift go.
You saw the cell?
I
It's landed. The shift go lands. Yes, go.
I am curious at experimenting with spaces of radical connection for humans and building community around food. So my newest space will be is a farm. It's moving from my house in the city to a space in the country.
Beep, beep for Sabrina. Sabrina, you didn't say go. Is it working for you?
Yeah,
If
it
yes,
is working. Go.
In the country where I can put a kitchen in my house and bring people around food preservation, regenerative farming and growing nutrient-dense food, but in a way that is really more about radically connecting human beings, because we are silos by ourselves.
Sabrina, you don't give her enough goes.
Beep, go.
I'm passionate about bringing people together into transformational spaces, and for me, food is the way to do it. Growing it, preparing it, selling it, giving it to other people, making it as delicious and possible.
I have a beep for you, Liz.
Yeah.
It sounds that you have an emotion. You're speaking from an emotion or from a feeling. Can you recognize which one?
No.
Sabrina?
I feel it. I'm sensing fear. And the reason I say fear is because the way you are speaking a little fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fear runs my show.
I sense some sadness in there. So if there's sadness there in the background and fear, those are your superpowers. And this is part of what you're here for to do. So how is what you're doing connecting to what you have fear about? You have fear about the world growing without healthy food. You have sadness about children grow without meals. Shift go.
Shift go.
I would say for me, the sadness comes from that we're silos, that we're lonely beings trying to do this all on our own. And when I look at the food system and how we grow food and the individual farmers that I know that grow food and that eat it, is that we're all supposed to do it all on our own, and it's not working and people are failing. My own fear is showing up to do it, is being great, is being good at it, is having to hold it. I am afraid of being seen in this way. So I push against myself and create.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So who are you in relation to the sadness that you have about it? You said we are silos. I'm a silo breaker, or I'm a silo creator, or whatever. Shift go.
I'm a creator of radically connected spaces around food, using food, which is my sadness, my sadness because of how bad food is for us, my sadness because of how stressed we are growing it. So I am very sad about the state of food, but I also know that it is this powerful force that we all have to do and enjoy coming together around. And I will use food to bring people out of their silos into connected spaces in this farm, on this place, in the gardens, in the kitchen.
Bring it to an end. Thank you.
To change myself and the world.
Yeah, that was really powerful. It really landed in the end. You didn't let us even stop you. You're like, Sabrina, coaching, you have less than a minute.
Yeah, so my coaching would be that to, before you begin, to maybe take a moment to just like center yourself a little bit more. And by centering yourself is like to connect, to really make that connection and let that land. And with this speak, I felt that there was this level of fear, and maybe because you were speaking so quickly, and maybe to use your, my feedback is to use your anger to stay a little bit more centered, and to speak, to stay more heart-centered when you deliver what you're saying. And yeah, I have a lot of feedback. I feel very excited about what you're sharing. I feel excited because I don't feel alone.
It's not about it's not about
right.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my feedback.
Thank you.
My feedback is
Thank you.
great feedback, Sabrina. My feedback is that if like you're creating a dish, you're taking time and experimenting with materials so in the same way, do that with who you are. Like, who are you that doing this? Because this was a bit of a dish with no flavor. Because who are you? It can be poetic. Like, I'm a next culture pirate. Like, it could be like I don't know. All right. Shift to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're shifting to partner C. Where's Sabrina?
No, Chile.
She got disconnected, maybe. Okay, then it's my turn. Four minutes. So ask me the question.
Who are you?
What's my work about?
What's your work about? What is your work about?
I'm a next culture pirate. I'm a possibility manager. I'm a rager. My work starts with connecting people to their feelings and their emotions.
So,
and it goes to holding spaces for something else in Gaia, something else than putting kids into schools where all they learn is to suppress their feelings and emotions. And then they need to spend 20 years after they finish college and work to
my feedback is to come from the positive. What's the positive thing you're doing?
Okay.
What's the thing that brings you joy? Just so that it felt a little heavy, lighten it up a little bit. Shift, go.
Thank you. So I'm here to create different possibilities for children, different spaces where kids can express their emotions and feelings, where their sensitivity is a superpower and not a weakness, when they can play full out with their real potential without putting them in boxes of what is right, what is wrong. And did I just freeze?
Yeah, now go.
And my work is not only about doing this for kids, it's actually doing it with grown-ups that are still haven't healed their emotional kid part, that went through this nightmare in school and in other places. So my work is holding spaces for emotional healing process where people can go deep and heal these wounds, these stuck emotions that were stuck with them. And when I do it, it feels like magic in the space. And suddenly I disappear, and all my thoughts and opinions about how things should be and supposed to be, they just fly out of the window. And I understand that there is something bigger than me. It's really about the space. And that's what I want to bring to people. I want to bring them this ability to disappear and to hold space and to have this huge bright principles, like this huge life force coming through them and land in the space. And when I source that, and when I see people source that, it's so valuable, it's so precious, and it's so needed everywhere. The same like the earth is needing water, and the world is becoming this desert, but on the other hand, the water are rising and floating the world. In the same way, it's needed in every one of us. When we get flooded with emotion, overwhelmed with emotion, it's the same like the oceans are just flooding and rising. The sea level is rising. And to learn how to manage that, wow, it's such a blessing. And to find these sweet water sources in me. And I'm here to show that to other people, that it's possible to find these sweet water sources. And to clean something, like to clean a mess that was there from your childhood. It's so powerful, it's so empowering, and yeah, that's what I'm here for to do. I'm a cleaner of plastic from Gaia, but also from people's lives. Yes, my time is over. Thank you. Feedback?
I'll do it when you're finished.
I finished. For finished typing?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
When you were talking about why things were important to you, you had some good examples. So the water rising and being able to have people cope with that, but then also feed themselves. If there could be more clarity around those examples, they were alive, but a little bit, I had to think about what you were trying to say, but they were colorful and helped me understand what you were taking from those, what you were helping people with and what you were connecting them to, but it needs a little bit more clarity. And to come from that, what inspires you space, there was a few times where you were tapping into your joy. So using your anger to put forth what inspires you about it was more connecting than using your anger to talk about how bad things were. It was more in my body to hear your inspiration.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great work.
I thought we would have 60 more seconds to say goodbye. So thank you. And is there anything else to share about this role-playing session?
Yeah, for those that need, just take a deep breath to land there here again. And as Manuela said, if you have any sharings about what you just experienced, please go.
I would like to share. It made me seen, because I felt that from my coaches and my partner, that they were very accurate in their beeps that they gave me. Things that I also felt in myself, but also because of the beep and the timing of the beep, I can understand and pinpoint more when they come up and after what and why. So thank you.
Thank you.
And this is really what we're here for. Like, we're a team. We're truly, maybe cheesy to say, but we're truly stronger in numbers, and what we can see in another is so much gold, and we don't have spaces to usually share it because, as Manuela was saying, people get offended or then you get scared, when actually it's amazing for growth and for being able to rapidly hold and create spaces that really create that transformation as well. And that transformation is happening in the awareness of the beeps and of the feedbacks we give each other. So thanks for all taking your stand in that as well today.
Thank you, Celine.
Any other sharings from anyone for?
I feel a lot of joy because I'm just wrapping up with my Rage Club, and I'm seeing how important or how necessary my anger is to keep me present. And I'm so grateful to have this like squeezing of the hand tool to like be angry enough to get myself to center and to focus. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I also feel very grateful about one of the coachings that I got, because I never saw how something that I say comes across for other people to hear it. And now somebody told me, and like, oh, yes, thank you. So that's what feedback does. Finally, it raises our level of consciousness about what we do. And I feel grateful about that.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I got told that my excessive hand motions was bringing me out of my center, and I'd never seen it that way. I'd always seen my expression as like, in ways it is power and passion and anger, but I do it so much that it's like, actually it's stronger if I just stay in here and focus. But I never even thought about it that way before. So that brought some light. Thank you.
Thank you, B.
Thank you.
I relate to that. I like from that coaching and from that thing, it made me think of myself because I also use a lot of hands.
Thank you. I want to open the space for questions about the training. And it's not about logistics question. Maybe you have logistic you can ask us later. But if there's anything that is alive with you right now, maybe anything you need to declare even or to share for you to learn more in the training and about the training. So we start a 6 weeks training in next week. And I think you know about it already. I just want to open the space for any questions about that.
So your necessities.
My question.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can. Just a question for clarity. So it's going to be 4 space holders or 3? So Nicole has joined you 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, we are the full team. Manuela, Dor, myself, Nicole, and Mara as well as deckhands.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to ask if the spaceholder training is maybe pinpointed to a certain kind of need? Or is space holding just for everything?
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're voicing this question again, because I heard this question kind of in the background when you like, what is possibility management? So we created this training really to empower you with distinctions, with experiences like this, with practices that you can bring into your spaces. And we don't tell you what your space needs to be about. That's for you. We want you to create a radically responsible context that is going to empower people to do something about the world, about themselves. And yeah, if it's radical responsible, we're behind you. We don't have a specific format that you need to go with. So we are empowered in possibility management in the context where we bring into the space, and it, I mean, I don't know where the limit of that, but for you, you can really take this space and create whatever training you want. You know, you can coach with this. You can do emotional healing process for people. You can hold the women's circle, men's circle. I don't know, ceremonies. You know, you can really go wild with what you do with this. Does that answer your question, Danny?
Yes, thank you. And I also have a follow-up question, unless anyone else has a question that they would like to ask.
Just go.
Okay. Is there, like, at the end of the training, is there like a certification? Is like how exactly does the actual training look like? Does it look like what we did today?
Nicole, would you answer this question?
I would love to. In the game world of possibility management, there's no certifications. There are sometimes certificates given to people when the person holding the space wants to do that. For example, I've been to Expand the Box, which is a foundation training where a possibility management trainer delivers heaps of maps and heaps of experiment spaces, heaps of feedback and coaching happen. Certificate end of that. And everything that's given through possibility management is open source. So it is such a generous game world. And in a way, what I've heard most is take these tools, take these distinctions, take these practices, take this experiment and turn around and deliver it. And you don't have to wait for some external authority to say you get to do it. And the feedback that you'll get from the universe, from the people who come to the spaces you hold, will give you feedback about your skill and your capacity, and then you keep going. So it's not about someone else. This isn't school where at the end you get told you're good enough to hold space. You're already a space holder. And here you will be empowered, and you'll be part of a team empowering others, and write yourself a certificate if you want one.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also heard the question, will the training look like this? I very much want every session to be different. I want body work, I want music, I want voice, I want role playing, I want all kinds of experiments. I want explorations, I want experimenting. So each session will be different. That's important for me.
And we have an outline, of course, of the structure and the distinctions and the maps that we want to deliver. But at the same time, it's for you guys. You've joined, you're here. So if you say, hey, I really need this today, or I want this in the space, then we see how we can weave it in. So that's part of it as well. Like, it's really about you guys and what you need and what you're craving for your next step for your empowerment. And our role in that is to hold a space where we can bring it in for you.
Definitely. It's about your necessities. What are the spaces that you want to hold? What are the places where you get stuck, where you have feedback that you want to get, that you want to give? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Question for clarity, is there any requirement for this space? Does someone have, okay, no, nothing. So as I heard Jenny saying, she is not in the PM context yet. Well, she's now.
Yeah, the requirement, the prerequisite is that you want to be here in this space as it's been described to you. And will you put up your hand if you're already committed to being part of this space, this series? Cool, thank you. And I'd invite anyone who doesn't have their hand up, like, is there anything, like, will you say something about what's stopping you in case possibilities can be created about that? And, you know, if there's something that says, yeah, I'd love to hear anything you want to say about what it would take.
And of course, we won't make you join. We just want to hear your voice about it. Oh no.
Yeah, and there's nothing coming, but if something comes up, please share. And there's also people that are going to watch this recording because they're joining us for the full training. And so, and also people maybe that are watching this and haven't decided if they're joining. So, you know, you can still let us know this question that Nicole just asked. You can open that and let us know about this question. All right. We have the last experiment before we close up the space. And again, this was never done before. And this experiment is for 1 minute, you share who you are with the feedback that you just got in the role playing, with all of that. You get to experiment with that, share for 1 minute in the space, but we're going to share it all together. So it's just about the energy of sharing it. It's not about like if you said the right words, because nobody's going to hear. It's just going to be a mixed sound.
And you will hear yourself.
So we
Write
all
it down after.
So we all keep our microphones on so we can hear each other and ourselves. And we speak from our center while hearing the others.
Wow.
All right. So everyone make sure you're centered. Your energetic center is on your physical center. And click and create your grounding cord so you connect it to Gaia and maybe speaking from there. And you create your bubble of personal energy, information, and emotion, and keeps your energy. Find your source, your being. And for 1 minute, share into the space. Who are you? Go. I am a next culture healer.
Consider myself
I hold
a
spaces of
center
transformation
and I
and
think
clarity.
that quality
I'm here for people
means a lot
to find their
outer
spaces where they can
self
explode.
inside, and that's how I feel like
to
very
and say what's really alive.
very
I'm here to stand for children to have different kind of future, that
alchemist of human connections.
making them giving them
I'm
possibility.
still in a figuring out
from the heart.
courageous
who you are,
but
We
learning
have
to
a
detach
heart.
from who I think myself I am, just feeling who I am and living it, and not
Who they are, really. I'm here to
get
connect people
inside
to
my
the heart.
mind.
love and life.
To feel
Healer and
security and
teacher.
a sense of self, even if it's not
Culture.
The deliverer.
I'm a
feel like
pirate.
it is in an artistic way, a healing way,
Bring it
friendship,
to an end.
loyalty, help, minds that
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
That was
you.
great.
Okay, so let us know if you're still not sure. Let us know if you're joining, and we have a Telegram group open for the training. And otherwise, keep sharing in the Spaceholder United group. And thank you for
And
being here.
for those that have already confirmed that you're joining, we have a private Telegram group that we're starting for those 6 weeks. So you will be added to that this coming week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for everyone.
Thank you for being here with us and for kicking this off. It's truly such a, my being and my whole body feels so alive right now. We've been so many hours of putting this in the making and of putting our energy in it, and that the fact that we just finished these 2 hours now is just such a boost for continuing with this work and for sharing and for bringing what we care about and what we want to see in the world. So thank you for joining and for having been a part of it. Yeah, the first one is always the one the one we remember. So
See you next Monday then.
see you next Monday. Ciao, ciao.
And I also want to invite you, each of you, including myself, if anyone comes to mind who I think, wow, I bet they would just love this kind of space, will you please let them know? There's like the window is closing, but there's still a chance to join for next week.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yay! Woohoo! We did it!
Yes, Manuela, show us your belly dancing move.
I'm gonna stop recording.
Oh yeah.